And correspondence.
Good
evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Pownal Selectboard meeting, March 24th, 2022 at 7:02 PM. Apologize, we're a couple minutes late. Our Board of Health meeting ran a couple minutes late tonight, a little longer than we thought. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call. Mike Gardner.
Angie Rawling.
Harry Percy.
Brian Harris.
And Bob Jarvis is absent tonight. I'd like to approve the agenda. Approval of the minutes of March 10th, 2022. Corrected minutes of May 27th, 2021. Board of Health meeting minutes of March 18th. Warrants. Excess weight permits. We're going to take off the school bus contract number 7. Transfer station rate increase discussion will be with Tom Shuey. Animal control, dog kennel and dog census of 2022. Historic Preservation Commission. VHB results from the former Pownal landfill. Tom will probably in for that. So could we move that to 8A so that if Tom wants to speak on that, he's there for both of them?
I think that'd be the best thing.
Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Boards and commissions appointments, which tonight are the Planning Commission and the Development Review Board. Select Board topic assignments. Town Hall update. RFPs. Executive session for personnel. Public comment and adjourn. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. So carried. Minutes of March 10th, 2022, Select Board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion or corrections? They look good to me. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Corrected minutes of May 27th, 2021 Sewer Commission meeting.
Is that supposed to be 2022?
No, May 27th, 2022 hasn't come yet. It's 2021.
We're being proactive.
I'm sorry, Tara.
It was specifically section 5. There was a correction in the wording.
Okay.
So moved.
I saw that actually.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions?
I think I'm supposed to abstain because I wasn't there for that.
Perfect. Board of Health meeting minutes, March 18th, 2022.
So moved.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Warrants, payroll ending 3/18, the amount of $17,342.68.
So moved.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll ending 3/20, $14,043.74.
So moved.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Accounts payable 3/18 to 3/25.
So moved.
Oh, hold on. This is a different one.
Because we had to subtract manually some things that were entered on the wrong dates.
Okay, this is my accounts payable.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was a payroll, sorry.
No.
Accounts payable is different than what we got, sorry. The amount that was given to us was $54,545.80. The adjusted amount is $46,751.53, a difference of $77.94.27.
With the changes, so moved.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Wait.
Thank you. So carried, sorry. Excess weight permits. I'll read these off. You want to, we do them as a group, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. West Oil, CAMP Precast, Gurney Brothers Construction, RK Miles, Marabou Holdings, New England Quality Service, David Chavis, sorry. Valley Crane Services, Beacon Sales Acquisition. And that's it. For excess weight permits.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Whoa.
Sorry.
That's all right. As everyone can see, we're in the new town office. Oh, this is our first official select board meeting in the new town office, and believe it or not, we find light switches that we're not sure sometimes where they go.
That's super bright.
So we're still in a learning curve, that's for sure.
That's better, thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Next up is Tom Shuey with the transfer station rate increase discussion. Sarah's gonna grab Tom. You can sign those after. The weight permits. Did we all sign those or just?
No, just you.
That's what I thought.
But make
We'll have
sure,
to sign the warrants though.
Yeah.
yeah, make sure she, ready.
Welcome, Tom.
Good evening again.
Hi.
Pardon?
That's a good evening again.
It is a good evening. I just want to, hey, I got this notification on Tuesday morning about this enormous increase that we're getting from Casellus. And seeing they have a monopoly, we don't have much of an alternative. I mean, did you guys take a look at the letter or not?
Yeah,
Yes, I did.
Well, you know, it's I have it under here. On the dump fees, it's a 22% increase, what we were paying.
That's what the town's gonna incur from Casella is a 22% increase.
Yes.
Okay.
86.
What I want to make sure of, Tom, for everybody that's watching, is I want to make sure that we say that the town's incurring a 22% increase from Casella, but the town is going to increase dump fees or potentially X number of percentage. I just want to make sure there's no confusion.
No, that's good, Mike, seriously.
Yeah.
And then what happened with the hauling, and I did call this Killian Flynn about this. I said, you know, you're going up $70, which is a 38.9%. I said, this is ludicrous. I said, from my house to the transfer station is 5.5 miles. That's not a half mile down to your transfer station down here. So I said, you know, this is ridiculous. I said, you know, it doesn't add up. We said, well, I'm paying over $5 a gallon, $6. I said, you said 3 gallons at most. You know, even if you get 5 mile a gallon, which I'm sure they get, because they're coming in empty one way, you know. And, you know, I said, we got to do something about this. This is ridiculous, you know. So, I mean, as far as that goes, what I did is I took last month's bill. I mean, it's a short month. This is the slowest month we have. It's February. Time short, and besides that, a lot of people aren't coming. We had lousy weather. So, but what it amounts to overall, what I did is I extrapolated all of the numbers, you know, for the new numbers, what the tonnage was and everything, and what the trucking, the hauling costs and so forth. And I came down to, it was actually a 27.5% increase overall. When you put the two together, that's pretty much what it's going to average out to. Right? So I was crunching numbers yesterday, man, I don't think I was. And I looked at our current price list. Now, to be quite honest, we have only had just rather modest increases in the dump fees. over the course of time, with the exception of mattresses. They've gone crazy. So, if you look down at my thing here, the mattresses, I think I went to $20 with them. Maybe I didn't put it in there.
Mattresses
Oh, yeah, I did.
have $11, or no, that's stuffed chairs.
They're charging us 40. They're charging us 40, sometimes 20, sometimes 25. The smaller ones, they're charging us 40. And I feel that we can't charge 40 because how many are we going to be picking up along the road for free?
Look how much garbage is on the side of the road now.
Well, exactly. I mean, Joel and I have gone out and picked up some, that have been out someplace else, it looks like for years. And we got to go pick them up on Jackson Crossroad. Stink of us. But we picked up a couple of them in that Indian Massacre Road, the same thing, places like that. So what I'm presenting to you is if we do a 15%, a 20%, or 25%, which I wouldn't recommend because it's going to be really, really expensive for the town folk. We have a lot of people that are retired that come to the transfer station, and use the facility.
So just so that everyone's clear, the first column is what we're currently charging.
Right. The first column is the current charge. Then the next one is a
Right.
50% increase and a 20% increase and a 25.
Well, I just want everyone to be clear on that, Tom, because I'm going to have this posted on the website after our discussion tonight with whatever we decide. I'm going to have this posted. So I just want to make sure that the taxpayers all know that the first column, even though there's no heading, that is what we're currently charging.
I should put an increase thing on there.
That's okay. No, it's fine. That's fine. I'm good with that. Like I said, for the people who are watching right now and anybody that's concerned, they can come back and look at that and say that column 1 or the first column is what we're currently charging. And then they can see the 15, 20, 25%.
Yeah. I mean,
That's fine.
It just, informed me the other day.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It should be
But I mean, to get increases such as this is pretty high, I think, at one shot.
Right. No, I agree.
I mean, if we'd have seen smaller increments as we're going up, okay.
Right. If
But
they had,
don't come throwing 20 to 30% increases on us. That isn't right.
I don't disagree. Unfortunately,
We're stuck.
There's no option.
our option bank is pretty well bankrupt right now, so that's fine.
I understand. So this is what I wanted to bring to your attention as soon as possible. That's why I talked to Tara about getting on the agenda tonight. I just felt it was something that we really all needed to look at, and you guys make your decision. But I don't know if you want to put it out on the website and try to see if we get any response from the town is what they want to do. But it's just unbelievably expensive. It's a tremendous increase. I was floored. I was absolutely floored.
I'm not,
Unfortunately, it's across the board everywhere on everything.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that. We were all suffering. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah. And
10 cents in a day.
I'm not opposed to, I think, when was the last increase that you had, Tom?
we've had these prices been this last year and the year before.
So this will be
This will be 3 years if we go through 2 years.
okay.
So I mean, what it is, it'll be,
So if I heard you correctly, our increase, the town is going to incur for an everyday basis is 22%, basically.
no, it's actually 25.
Right.
The total comes out to like, the total when we add up the whole month, it came out to 27.5.
Oh, okay,
27 and a half.
all right, that's right, I'm sorry. I
27
read
and a
that
half.
too.
That's for tonnage.
I read
and
that
for-
too.
I mean, if you want me to make a copy of this.
No, we already have that. I read that. I just had the wrong number in my head.
But I mean, this is what, I was working numbers all over the place yesterday, and we were quite busy anyhow, for Wednesday, really.
What is your because you're the manager of the transfer station, basically. What is your recommendation? Because this affects you and your budget directly.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be upside down no matter what we do. You know, you can't make this kind of thing up
Right.
unless we went 27.5%. And that's not,
No, I agree.
that's not fair to our constituents here, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. So what would your recommendation be if we were to vote for an increase?
I would say, look at it's a tough call. I'd either go with the 15 or the 20 right now and then go to another one next year. So, but I would start this goes at the beginning of April. So I'd wait till the beginning of July in the new fiscal year, just to implement these. But I think that's what we're gonna have to do. It'd be one or the other, and that's up to you guys, yeah. But I really don't wanna hit them with 20%. I mean, you see what some of these prices are going up. I mean, some of these,
Yeah, no, I saw.
I mean, our two biggest items that we have in this thing are the 13-gallon bags and the 30-gallon bags. So we're going up 50 cents, 25 cents and 50 cents, which proportionally is right. I mean, what I did, I rounded up or rounded down. You know, 12.5 cents difference, I rounded up or down, whichever it was coming out there. So that's what we put in here. And then you get up to like the 45 gallons, you know, which are big, the contractor bags and stuff. They would go from $5 to $5.75 at 15. And then the next year possibly go up to 12 and we'll see what happens. You know, here's the thing about the fuel surcharge and stuff that they're saying about all this, you know, the trucking costs, everything going up. It didn't go up that high.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
It didn't go up that high. That's just, that's fine.
But I think with these prices, any of the 15, 20 or the 25, this is reasonable compared to having somebody pick up your trash
Yes.
by far for the townspeople.
I'm sure it is. I don't know
By
exactly
far.
what you're charging now, but I'm sure you're right, Angie,
Yes.
seriously.
So, I mean, unfortunately, we have to do it, but we are still very reasonable.
15 or the 20% this year, and then you're gonna have to bump it up next year, I suppose.
What is the pleasure of the board? Do you have any more questions for Tom? I think he's got a pretty good presentation here and I don't think there's a.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with Tom. I mean, this is just.
Right, well, right. And I don't think there's a.
I'm not elected, you are. You gotta make the tough choices.
I'm not sure
I just
that.
present this to you.
I'm not sure there's a whole lot of discussion on this because the discussion, the only discussion is what percentage we vote increase.
Yeah.
Because we have to, or not, I guess we don't have to, we can leave it.
I'm curious to know what,
Yeah,
if you know what our estimated shortfall would be if we left it at current rate.
I didn't do the whole thing.
I don't think you have a lot of time. You got this.
Well, no, I know.
I'll tell you what.
I know Tom's really thorough, so I wouldn't have been surprised
I
if
can
we had.
go back, I can go back, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go back a year, all right, by quarters. Because I have my quarterly reports. I'll go back a year, like from, the end of December to last January, you know. I'll go back there and see what the totals are. Because I got all the numbers and I can see what we're going with the things, and I can see what, I'll have to go with the bag prices and so forth. And I have the annual thing from last year, which went from December, you know, at the end of the year. I have my annual, it's called a PLU report. And I have each one, how many items we did, you know, and so forth. And that's why I was.
average tonnage.
I found this out, you know, and we did like 45,000 items last year, which is for two guys running the thing. It's not pretty impressive, you know, really. You know, to handle that for 3 days a week for 150 days, you know, that's a lot of stuff coming through.
So I guess the way I look at that then, the pleasure of the board would be to hold off on voting an increase until Tom gives us that report at the next board meeting. Because I agree with your implementation timeframe, July 1, new fiscal year, bring it then. So we have time to figure out what we're gonna do for an increase. I don't like tabling things. I hate it, but I don't think we're tabling. We're just asking for more information.
Yeah, right.
And I'd like to do it at the next board meeting and then handle it then, bang, done.
That gives me what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I know, but I don't like to table stuff. I want to handle it now while it's here.
Right.
But I also think Brian has a really good point. He's looking for some more information.
Yeah.
And I think I'd like to,
that's not a problem. I just did this is what I could do yesterday,
but
basically.
no, I get that, Tom, sure. So I think we'll hold off on what we do. I think we could probably put this on our website.
Yep.
Yeah.
So people can see.
What the potential changes are gonna be of what we vote on
Yeah.
right now. And then once we finalize what we vote on at the next board meeting, we can change that.
Right.
And go with
Or
what it is.
highlight the column.
I was gonna say, and I think the communication that you got from Casella outlining what the cost increases should go with it, so they know who to blame.
No, I agree.
Right.
I think.
Because I don't want them to think like, oh, we're just upping the price, up the price.
I think that cover letter that you gave us with the increases from Casella and the increases in our trucking should go with this.
Right.
So that we can,
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
that people know that, hey,
Let Casella,
we're back into
phone
recording.
calls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of
They
Are we comfortable with that? So
Yeah.
we'll act on this next, we'll put,
the trucking's a big thing.
we'll put Tom on the agenda for the next board meeting. With some more information. You won't have to produce this again. You already have.
I would do that. I'll have it done beforehand. You'll have an opportunity to review it before I present it to the public.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Tom.
much,
You're
Tom.
welcome.
Very
We moved our
Yeah, we
agenda.
bumped you up, so you don't have to wait around.
Well, that's marvelous of you. I appreciate that.
We bumped the landfill VHB results. Do you want to?
I'm sorry, I interrupted the other meeting. I came in here, print some stuff, and then I don't have the new code, so I can't even do that.
Do you want to be part of the VHB results on the former landfill on the water?
I have, I didn't bring those with me. I didn't know that was on the agenda.
Yep.
Oh, I'll stick around for that too, certainly.
Yeah, we figured,
I printed those all out. If I'd known that, I'd have brought my copy of them.
well, we can get a copy, I'm sure. We'll get you a copy.
No, it's all right. I probably, if I find it here, it's 17 pages long.
Harry's got a couple of trees with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to.
Gotta find my copy.
I don't have much timber.
Yeah. We're gonna work on that. That's something we.
Yeah.
Copy down further, right?
Right here, Kurt. It's right here from
The whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, well, I,
VHB.
72 pages back, I believe. Mine printed both sides, so it did save some.
So do you want to give us this presentation? I moved you up there just because of that. You're familiar with it, so.
Yeah.
Is he, the other fellow, supposed to?
Oh, really, Kurt? Was Kurt coming into this meeting? Do you know?
In or not?
He
Okay.
said he was going to tune in at 7:30, so about 5 minutes from now.
Okay. So we're running.
Okay, then let's, oh boy, I don't want to move the agenda around. I don't know if we can.
Well, we can let Tom talk about it at first.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would actually rather have these guys talk about it, and I can ask questions on their stuff.
Oh, okay.
What I can gather on this, that the residential wells, there really wasn't significant PFOAs or anything on there.
That's what I got from her.
Which was the best thing, because I was looking around, like Stan Kimball wanted to know what his was and stuff. Well, I kind of assumed which one was his, but I looked at all the residential wells, and they all seemed to come in pretty good shape as far as that was concerned. But I think we have to ask him. I don't know what we're going to do, when we're going to get together for these other wells. And I assume we didn't get anything from Dr. Salem. Any permission,
Oh, that's right.
correct?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of anyway.
I think we got it from Colmar or Salem.
Right.
Last time they told us or
Okay.
talked.
This whole
No,
packet
you know,
was from Kurt Muller, this whole.
I was dealing with, Stephen there, about getting Pam Stones, and finally she came in. I said, Pam, I didn't answer his call. I said, I already gave him permission. He could have called and said, I already gave you permission. You could test my water anytime, but she just, then it's okay. It just held us up a little bit. So they've got the permission from everybody and so forth. But what I think we need to do is we're gonna have to get over where these well placements are gonna be. Because a lot of these, they had pretty much formulated right in the gravel pit, which you can't have, that's not gonna work. These are some of the deeper wells. Now, in the back section of the highway department, the old pit's back there, well, perhaps there, or even behind where the fuel tank is, where it's kind of a wetland there, and that there the Christmas trees or whatever, somebody planted in there years ago, whatever. I mean, they could put those things there if they wanted, I mean, you can't, they have it drawn right in the middle of the thing. I said, no, it's not gonna happen. I talked to Joel about that, and he said, oh, absolutely not. We just can't do it. And then they move it up closer, it's gonna be close to our one original monitoring well, so it doesn't make much sense. We already have like a 40-foot well there,
Kurt Muller just joined us.
Perfect. Did you let him in?
Yes.
Perfect.
There it is. You're muted.
Yep. Good evening. How are y'all doing?
Okay.
We're good, thank you.
Good. So I was told to show up at 7:30. Are you ready for me?
We've been waiting.
Yeah, we're starting a little bit there. Okay.
Okay, I gave myself 2 minutes to spare. I'm glad it didn't delay. So I understand that Megan is now, I'm working with Megan directly, and I have not yet met Megan, but she wanted me to come to the meeting tonight just to give a quick update, and I guess tell you about next steps and where, and what we can look for in months here. So first things first, as you recall, the last time we met, we were seeking approval to do that round of drinking water sampling, that next round of drinking water sampling. We did that, and the data came back consistent with the first round, which is really good news, meaning all of the locations that we sampled, including one new one, all were below the standard, and in most cases, the concentrations were actually a little bit lower. I'm going to share my screen for a second and show you the map of where we sampled. And show you the results. Just give me a moment here. Could somebody allow me to share?
Megan, can you allow him to share, please?
Yes, no problem. Just 1 minute.
No. Well, when that still don't have access to share, but I can just walk through it verbally.
We have a copy of it.
Yeah, I think you want to show for everyone else.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to see. The color thing that he has is
Right.
far easier to view.
So
you get
the long and the short is you're never going to have exactly the exact same numbers. You're typically looking for the same order of magnitude, and that in this case, that's what we have. The one DW 981, which was up in the northern portion, kind of northeast corner, that dropped by about half. I wouldn't look too far into that. It's not uncommon with seasonal variation, groundwater level, you'll have some change. But the biggest takeaway here is we have 2 rounds of data that consistently show all the wells that are in the immediate vicinity, drinking water wells, although have been impacted, they're not at a concentration that is either increasing or at a concentration that is of concern because it doesn't exceed the standard. So that's a really strong argument for, hey, although we still need to determine the extent of where these PFAS contaminants are in groundwater, we're pretty darn confident that they're not getting to drinking water. And I'm going to make the case essentially that ultimately when we define the extent through this next round of investigation, we should just continue to monitor these wells on an annual basis and keep our fingers crossed that they remain below the standard. The alternative is quite a bit more expensive where there's active remediation going on. And frankly, it might be there, but we're not dealing with something that's causing a risk to human health of the environment. Nobody's drinking this water. That's the impacted water in the shallow groundwater. Nobody's going to put a well to 5 feet in the landfill and drink that water. So
Come on.
the point that I'm trying to make is I think the direction this may end up going is what we call monitored natural attenuation, i.e. there's the, over time it will degrade and we just need to continue to monitor it to make sure it's not increasing. So, but that again doesn't get us out of, we still need to determine the extent of the impact. So as we talked about the last round, there's additional investigation that we need to do to determine how far these contaminants have migrated. So
Are you able to share, Kurt?
I will try now. Yes, I am. Thanks, Megan. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
So the last time we met, we had we discussed the challenges we were having with the owner of this property, the salmon property, and we had we tried to gain access. Essentially, we couldn't, and we're not bothering at this point anymore. They're really not responsive. So we're really going to focus, as the data suggested, the most impacted groundwater is located in this forested wetland. And so when we look at the potentiometric map, which is basically which direction groundwater is flowing, we see that on this part of the landfill, groundwater is flowing towards the northwest. This wetland is a low spot, and so groundwater over here is migrating towards this wetland. And to the north, it's a little bit flatter. The point that I'm trying to make is we don't really gain much by putting wells all the way out here. And at one point, DEC had suggested that to determine the downgrading extent. And we made the argument and said, look, that is actually upgrading. We're draining into a low spot, which is this forested wetland. Why are we going to put a well out here and spend another, 15 grand or whatever putting wells along here? It's not worth it. So they bought into that. And so we're really just going to focus. Ideally, we'd be able to put a couple of these piezometers. These piezometers are shallow wells. You can put them in with a hand auger. You can pound them in with a jackhammer. They don't require a drill rig because the groundwater is really, really shallow here. And so, yeah, ideally, we'd love to be able to put one on the salmon property here. It's not going to happen. So we're really going to focus here to say, okay, the impacts that are here, are they migrating in this direction? But they're not going to migrate much past there because that is, again, an upgradient position here. So those are piezometers. Additionally, there are 2 deeper wells. If you recall the last time we met, there was this esker feature, this subterranean river feature that we were concerned that the contaminant is migrating to the northwest and south, the southwest and northeast here. And so the state was looking to have us delineate the extent of the impacts that were found here and here by putting these 2 wells in. The state, again, they also requested wells over here, but using that same argument to say that's upgrading, not going in that direction, we were able to lose those 2 wells and not, install them. So basically the 2 deeper wells that we're going to need to use a sonic rig again with are the 2 wells that are here.
Those are what you were talking about earlier, correct, Tom?
Yeah. For this one, that's just to the, for your cursors. Well, that one had to go over to the left more, or go to the west more. The other one would have to come up closer to the borderline because this is where we got our gravel and sand, where you have that one. So we can't put one in right that one. Right, yeah. The furthest one east there. Yeah. That one could go a little bit further west, would probably be better. And we'd have to go over with the
one that's closer to the buildings themselves, I think, or yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one right there, we cannot put that one there. Absolutely can't, because that's where they're seeing how much dirt there is there. They got to be digging back through.
Yep.
They've got several years of dating right there to do. So, that can't be there. Now, if you would like to put it down there between the buildings someplace, we could probably do something there between the two long ones, the ones that are paralleling each other.
Yep.
That may work. We'd have to get that, we have to get that covered with the highway department.
Okay.
That is our ground there, but yeah, the other one's just definitely not gonna work.
Okay, and these were, these aren't set in stone. You know, we can field determine where they go. But it's good to know that, you know, this one would actually probably be located almost 100 feet to the north. I mean, it's still, it's within that esker feature. It's a little further down gradient, but if it gives us a better chance of having a clean well to say, okay, it's definitely not migrating down here. We're good. It's isolated to this area. Okay, it's a little bit over in this forested wetland, but it hasn't gone that far. And, you know, I want this to be it. I want to start to make the argument to say, look, we're not sampling anymore in terms of delineation. You know, we have property owners that aren't willing to let us on. We've done what we can. Let's get to the next step here. So I'm trying to close the door on this whole investigation piece. And I think we have a good argument for that.
Yeah, are you still dealing with Sean on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's been quite reasonable, but he takes a fairly conservative approach, you know, and typically if, you know, a down gradient means further away. Well, if the topography and the groundwater flow isn't going all the way, you know, in that direction, I just wanted to really push that back on him because there were, in my opinion, 4 wells that he was proposing that really weren't necessary. And so he ultimately acquiesced. And what I'm presenting tonight is essentially what we wrote up in a work plan, which we're then going to send to him to get approved. And that's the next piece of this, which point we modify the loan agreement with CWSRF to add this phase, and we're off to the races in the next, you know, month or so. In addition to the new wells and new piezometers, so 7 new piezometers, 2 new wells, we're then going to sample the entire network of wells again to get a new round of data. That's going to serve 2 purposes. One, it's going to deal with the solid waste requirements for your landfill. And Tom, were you dealing with Buzz Cirillo?
Yes.
Did you hear the sad news?
No.
Unfortunately, and very unexpectedly, Buzz Cirillo passed away 2 weeks ago.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah. Really healthy guy, was at the gym, finished a workout, fell over in front of his locker, 55 years old.
Oh, I'm scared.
Yeah.
He was such a nice guy. That first time we all got up there and so forth, I met him, we had a great time together. We really did.
He was a phenomenal individual, and I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but I wanted you to be aware of that, and they're looking for a replacement, but there was that connection where we were covering the PFAS component of this sampling, and so that next round will cover the landfill requirement for the PFAS component. So we're doing one big round of groundwater sampling with this. So that's all of the network is what the DEC had requested.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, they're going to miss Buzz. He was more than reasonable with us. Yeah, he was a great guy. He always did my reviews on my closed landfill and my other, you know, and my transfer station stuff, you know. He was a good guy. Really sad to hear that.
I'm sorry to be the bearer, but I wanted you to know.
I appreciate it. I really do, Kurt.
So this is an important sample, though, even though we can't get to the salmon property. This is a water of the state. So if we are able to from the roadway, grab a water sample here. The reason this is important is because everything feeds into this north branch and east branch in terms of flow. And if this comes back clean, we know that it's not, you know, it may be here. We may not be able to get on here to get these samples, but we know that it's at least contained. And so this was one that we should be able to get, even though we don't have access, just from the roadway. So that was one other thing I didn't mention but that's another one that we're gonna try to get.
Well, what's our right of way from the center of the road there, from Strohmeyer?
The right of way for the town,
Yeah,
I don't know what it is exactly over there. I know it's at least 25
I
feet.
mean, it might be possible, or just put it on the right of way, so we don't really need anything.
Well, they just do a sample there, right, Kurt?
Just pulling out of the river itself, the
You're
stream.
pulling out of the stream, or you're gonna put one of those little wells?
We're gonna pull it right out of the stream. We'll do a grab right out of the stream. It's,
Oh, that's not a problem.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, you go right down off that side there, either side is being the right of way.
Right, exactly.
You don't have a problem with that.
yep. Sorry, I've got you. What's going on with my PDF? There we go. Yeah, so that's the plan, is to take it from I don't want to go on his property after he explicitly essentially ignored our access agreement after we began negotiations. So, yeah, so that's the last piece of it. So
That's the Salem property that we don't have access to, right?
correct. Strohmeyer, we do. This is the Strohmeyer, this lot up here,
Right.
and they're great. So, I've essentially put this into a formal work plan. That's what gets approved by DEC. Once that gets approved, then there's a cost estimate associated with it. I'll share this all with you to then, once we're approved, then we send it up the ladder to the CWSRF, and then there'll be what they call a minor loan amendment that would augment this phase into the loan agreement. And this is a new year, so that subsidy of 150% would continue for this. And so that's really the next phase. And once we get approval there, we'll be putting holes in the ground, I would suspect, probably in late April, early May, depending on how quickly they get back to me.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, I
This is really revised from the last one we had, correct?
It is, yeah. The last one we had wells up in here, had wells over here, and we really tried to truncate it to shave some cost off.
If you would send me a copy of that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna send and this is, I guess, a request. My plan would be to have DEC and Pownal do a concurrent review of this draft work plan. That doesn't mean if you find something that you want me to modify, I can absolutely do it. It's just getting comments back at the same time, so it's not delayed a month.
Yeah, well, I mean, my biggest concern right now is the placement of these two wells. For the landfillers. That's my biggest concern right now. I might be able to show it to Joel and discuss where we can go with things. If he thinks that the one on the western side is going to be, in the road or not, I think it may be eventually. We'll have to take, but the one on the east definitely is. That's where they're actually taking stuff out. So.
So Tom, how about I just share this PDF with you, and even if you just take a pen and mark it up and tell me, this, I don't tell you if X's are possibilities, give me a few options, and just take a photograph of it with a phone, send it back to me.
That'd be super.
Great. I will do that the second I get off the phone.
I'll look at it tomorrow morning.
I think that's great news for us, to be honest with you, and for the town that the drinking water has stayed the same or gone down, so.
Yeah, drinking, everybody's wells are fine.
Yeah.
Which is the really good news.
That's best case scenario right there.
Yeah. I mean, these tests are incredibly sensitive. So to have a little bit of detection here and there, it's there. It's not like it's totally free of it, right? But the standard's really low to begin with, and the fact that we're the highest concentration we had was 11.3, which is half the standard. So I think we make a pretty strong argument for we'll be on top of this. We'll make sure it doesn't, for some anomalous condition, increase. But to me, in my opinion, that's the best approach. It's going to be way more cost effective to just do the sampling once a year than, some huge remediation effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And if one of the wells comes back hot in 3 years, we install a filter,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we deal.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Good stuff. Okay, well, I'll shoot this your way, Tom. And if anybody has questions, you know where to find me. I'll probably be submitting the draft work plan to you all and Sean Donovan of DEC by end of day tomorrow or latest Monday morning.
Oh, that's fine.
Probably Monday, because I want to incorporate your suggestions, Tom, with that location. So
Just tell them that they're really probably not where the mark right now, are probably not gonna be able to fly.
okay,
Because it is an active quarry operation. So,
okay. We would propose that these wells have stick ups, so there'd be a 3 or 4 foot stick up, so it wouldn't get buried, but there's more risk of it. It would be a metal protector that will be set up.
The thing is that the two parallel buildings, the largest one on the eastern side, that's the garage, and the part up towards the north is where they store the trucks, they park the trucks under there. The one that's parallel to that is a salt shed, and you drive in from the back on that one. The other one, or actually, that's a sand shed. The one that's kind of perpendicular to them, right there on the south side, that's a salt shed. So if they could even put something in close to the salt shed, it wouldn't be moving it that far, because you see where they drive the trucks around there and so forth. If we can keep it out of the way there, then they won't hit it. I think it'd be a good spot for it, and you're only moving it, less than 100 feet. That might be.
I like that idea, and it's sort of a natural. Being close to the building like that, there's a bit of natural protection.
Oh yeah. Nobody's going to smash into it. Let's hope.
Well, we'll make sure you and Steve get together the day of when we actually put them in the ground. But I'll send this figure to you, and you let me know where you think it would work.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go over it with Joel tomorrow.
Great.
All right.
All right. Anything else you need from me tonight?
I don't have anything for you, Kurt, really.
Anybody have any questions for Kurt?
No.
I'm good.
I don't.
Good, thank
You
you.
did a nice job of that.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, sir.
Very much.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
All right. I didn't realize you were having this. That's good, though. That's good.
It's all done. We're good.
We're good, thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Animal control, dog kennel, and dog.
Forget your
census.
mouse.
Was Leonard,
That's not mine, that was your,
No, the mouse, isn't that your mouse?
oh, yeah, that's mine. You're right.
was Leonard coming in? Does anybody know?
I thought he was.
I thought he was.
He's not my suggestion.
Yeah.
I thought he told me he's gonna watch on Zoom.
Oh, is he coming, maybe he's out on Zoom land?
Well, we shouldn't have the discussion without it, I don't think.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
can't stay home and watch the discussion about your project.
The census for sure.
When's our next meeting? It's after the 1st of April, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Let's move the dog kennel to the 7th and have Leonard come in. We can do the dog census, that's fine.
So basically Leonard was asking, let me double check my notes here, but,
Thank you.
Good
night, all.
2020
Night, Tom.
The 2022 dog census does need to be done, but he's trying to determine what's the most cost-effective way to go about it. So he wanted to ask you your opinion on that. He was thinking either doing a mailer to everyone or go door to door. Either way, he said he was fine with.
We talked about that.
Going to door is an awful lot of work.
Yeah.
It's, when I spoke to the state about what a dog census was, they said that it's not a door-to-door thing, that it's usually a survey of some kind.
Kind of mail.
So if we're doing mailer, I know he's doing the free or the clinic.
That's this weekend, I think.
Yeah, coming week. I couldn't remember, it was this weekend or first weekend of April, but.
Saturday.
And so hopefully you'll get a lot of answers for that way.
Well, people who are coming into the clinic are getting their tags, so that's
Right.
not what, right, but.
Yeah, but that's,
Get it from dog registration?
yeah, you'll get part of that from through dog registration and then,
The state said people that the census is not door to door. It doesn't, it's not like the national census.
Right.
Okay.
That it's usually a survey of some kind.
I think-
The postcard mailer.
I was saying, I was
I think we should
gonna
get
suggest
a-
that, postcard.
I think we should get a cost on a postcard mailer. See what that general cost is gonna be, and then we can make a decision on what we wanna do.
So could we have that by our next meeting?
Right, April 7th, we can have a cost, sure. I don't wanna just willy-nilly this without having a cost on.
Right,
something to get a cost.
absolutely.
correct.
So, let's get a cost on what a postcard mailer is gonna be to, with a, I guess we'd have to, well, we could figure it out how they would respond, they would, whether they respond back to the website.
Yeah, either email or to dog kennel or
Right.
animal control officer, excuse me.
Probably the best thing, and I don't know, I'm asking you to this, cause I'm not the IT guy, obviously. Could we set up, if we send a mailer, a postcard mailer, could we set up on our website a response that I could send back in, I have 2 dogs?
Yes,
Okay, it's pretty,
yeah.
okay. That,
People can respond to it.
and that may be our least expensive way out. I mean, because the person who's gonna respond is gonna respond whether it's going to our website and responding, or if we send a self-addressed stamped envelope, they're gonna respond no matter what, if you ask me. So, okay, perfect. We'll postpone, let's put the dog kennel on the 7th. Have Larry come in. Give us an update on that.
And if you'd like, I'm gonna offer, since we're talking project management, I'm rolling in. Rebecca Dragon, I don't think it can be seen. I'm happy to meet with him before
Yeah,
kind of, and to talk about the project in general, what some needs are, and talk about some possibility of project management, if you would like me to do that.
I think that's a great idea.
I do too.
All right,
Thank you, Rebecca.
yeah. Did we do correspondence?
No, and I don't think I added that to the agenda, to be honest with you. Which
I'll do
is,
it during public comment. It's
well,
just an announcement.
it's been bugging me that I forgot to add that, sorry. So I figured that. Historic Preservation Commission. That's you, Megan?
So, I'm not sure if you're able to read the email I sent. It was with a draft of an ordinance for a historic preservation commission. And of course, as we all know, Pownal has an extensive history, and it would be great to start working on preserving it. If we created a commission, we would also be able to become a CLG, which is a certified local government. And it puts us in a pool to qualify for a lot more grants. And, not all of them are matching ones. They would cover the cost of historic preservation, which would be great. But in order to start a draft of the ordinance to be able to present to you all, I was hoping to be able to form the commission so that the people that are interested be able to meet and review that together.
To see if there's enough interest for a commission is what you're asking.
Right, there definitely is an interest, but there hasn't been an announcement asking for letters of interest or anything like that yet, since it hasn't been created, so.
Now, this all stems from the Pownal Cemetery Association.
It does not.
That was my impression from the email.
That's actually a new thing that came up. I've been actually trying to put this together for the past 6 months, so we could hopefully get into that pool for more grant money.
Okay.
The Pownal Cemetery Association just emailed this week, and it was the president, Deanna Peasley. She wants to meet on Saturday, which we scheduled for 10 a.m. To talk about their association, because it turns out that they don't have any members. Right now they have 3, but their treasurer is about to leave town. And so they have the president and vice president, and they don't see anyone jumping up to help. So they were hoping that the town would be able to figure out a way to take over. And that
Do
means,
they want to schedule it for this Saturday? Is that what, I got the email, I didn't.
Yeah.
That part.
yeah, I'm gonna meet up with her
Oh, you're gonna
and,
meet up with her?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, and just get an overview of exactly what is, going on with their association. That way I could,
What's entailed and,
right,
yeah.
I'll have a better idea for you all at that point.
I think we can send out some feelers probably for a historic preservation commission.
Put something on the web.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. I think one thing that we really need to be careful of right now, as a board is I think we got a couple of projects that we should clean up before we jump into another project. You know, I think this is a great idea and I'm a huge history buff myself and I totally support it. But I think we got some projects that, we got to put a schoolhouse on the end of this.
Right.
We got to finish some blacktop. We got to, we got some stuff that really, the dog kennel, working on this is one thing, but we got a lot of projects to clean up in the next few months. So I think this is something that maybe we go ahead and attack, which you could do some stuff because you need to get some stuff out, feelers out there anyways. But we could bring this back on, June or July, the next fiscal year and then go from there.
The other thing.
Is that,
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now, is this already, is there a statute that covers this already? Have you
Yes.
looked in it? Okay.
Yep, that's included in that sample ordinance.
Okay, 'cause
I saw that,
I
yeah.
didn't get to read the whole thing. That's why I just wanted to.
I think there's a lot of projects that we as a board,
That are involved.
we need to concentrate, this year with me being the chair, I want to concentrate on getting some stuff cleaned up,
Finished up, yeah.
finished up. We have a great start and we really do. And there's, we have a start on this, obviously, but I want to get some of this other stuff.
And the other thing that we're gonna have to make sure, like we did with Parks and Rec, as far as the Historic Society with us at the Historic Commission. Because sometimes people try to get intertwined and get convoluted. That's something else that we're gonna have to put some thought in when we're doing that.
I think putting some feelers out on our website is a good idea and seeing if we can get some interest. And I think you could probably even start having some meetings and get going a little bit, whatever night works, Monday nights. I don't think there's anybody ever in the building here, I think that's totally fine.
Okay, great.
But like I said, I think we got some projects we got to get cleaned up. We got, we got the lister agent that we got to work on, there's some stuff we got.
Long list.
I mean,
Yeah, we got, that's my opinion as as a board member and the board chair now that I want to clean up some of these projects we have that we're working on. Then we can attack some more. I'm fine with that.
I agree.
Sounds good.
well, part of moving us forward.
Is that, you good with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put it on the website and Facebook and all the places.
Perfect, which brings us to board appointments to the Planning Commission and Development Review Board. Those positions have been posted for a while, or those openings for quite a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Some of them for well over a year.
Yeah, right. So we have, for the Planning Commission, we'll start with that one because that's the first one, that's the one that was on top. We have an application or email from John Bushy asking to be reappointed to the Planning Commission. John's been a member for a while on the Planning Commission. So what's your pleasure?
How many open spots do we have versus how many applicants do we have? Would be my first question.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I think there's 3 open spots on the planning commission right now, I believe. John's comes up this year.
Yeah.
And I think there's 2 vacancies. Okay, I'm not positive of that, and if I had a town report, obviously I'd have it in front of me. This is my concern about the planning commission. Because we only had 1 applicant, and we've discussed this before. I think,
About dropping the number.
exactly, I think we should drop, I think the number right now is 9 on the planning commission. And aren't you on the planning commission?
I am.
So you gotta come off.
No, I don't.
Well, you're not a voting member on the select board.
I've been informed that there's actually no state statute against it.
Really? Okay.
And traditionally, Ronnie was voting right along.
I don't know if he was voting, but maybe, whatever. I think we should drop the number from 9 at least down to 7, in my opinion, because at 7, you only need 4 for a quorum. And 9, you need 5. It's really, I think
Yeah,
it's.
there has been a few times where we've managed to pull 4, but still can't have a meeting.
Exactly.
And that's what you guys were saying, and that's why we were discussing.
Yeah.
John is the acting chairman of the planning commission right now, and he's brought that to our attention in the past.
Correct.
And I think now is the time to do it, because we only get, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. It'd be different if we had like I was asking, how many applied?
If we
If
had-
we had like 7 people applying for 3 positions, I'd say it's not a good idea to drop the size.
No, I totally agree.
That's why we, at the time, we had quite a few applicants, and that's why we left it at 9 at the time.
Yeah.
And then,
So we can do it in 2 phases. I'll entertain a motion to appoint John Bushy back onto the planning commission.
so move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Now I'll entertain a motion to drop the number of participants on the planning commission from 9 to 7.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
There's nothing against state statute or anything on that, right?
No,
No, we can set it
No, it
up.
was increased to 9, actually.
Okay, from 7 to 9.
7, yeah.
Okay, just making sure we're all good.
Any more discussion? Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect, so carried.
ERB.
Development Review Board. There's 2 applicants for Development Review Board. Olden Dwyer sent one in. My name is Olden Dwyer. I'm very interested in being a part of the DRB of Pownal. I love our town and want to be a part of it, staying at best place north to live. Thank you and hope to hear from you soon, Olden Dwyer.
So moved.
That's it.
Any discussion or questions?
Same question I had before. How many open positions?
There is,
2.
there's Cindy Legg is 1, David Dents is 1, and then there was an open position, so I believe there's 3.
Okay.
So we did not receive anything from Cindy. I know she had expressed some interest in this in the past, but I know there's 3.
Okay.
So we're good with 2.
Okay.
But I know there's 2 because David Dents' term is up and Cindy Legg's term is up. So I know there's at least 2, Brian. I think there's 3 though.
Okay. I'm surprised Dave didn't put in for it again.
I'm surprised either one of them did.
Yeah, Cindy surprised me. But anyway, Olden Dwyer, we have a motion on the floor in a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. We have another applicant for the DRB, and I will abstain from this one. Good afternoon, I am drafting this email. It's from Cody Gardner, sorry. Good afternoon, I am drafting this email in order to express my interest in the open position on the town of Pownell's DRB. I have lived in Pownell for nearly all of my life and in fact now own 9.5 acres on Sweet Road, currently building a home. I'm interested in this position because I believe it offers me an opportunity to impact the town in a positive manner. Deep down, I believe that Pownell is a diamond in the rough, and with a few small tweaks, we can bring out some of the hidden potential in our town. With that being said, I also appreciate the rich heritage and pride of our community, the families who have been here for many years. There's a fine line between change and tradition, and I would like to excel with social matters. I would like to help draw this line in the sand. I am a business-minded person, but also like to believe that I excel with social matters. Please consider me for this position and please allow me to help move the town of Pownell in a positive direction that incorporates both change and tradition. Thank you, Cody Gardner.
So moved.
Second it.
Any discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. So carried. Brings us to select board topic assignments.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Really quickly, you guys all reviewed the list I sent?
And then it's an extensive list.
Rolling in.
Here, let me, someone like
Thank
that
you.
room for you.
Can I use this pencil?
Oh, yeah, sure. Just
Thanks.
don't break my leg.
So I sent you, it's one of my many parting gifts for you. The suggestion that I had was for you to, every select board member be in charge of just knowing about more deeply a collection of subjects regarding the work we do here in Pownell. This is not about you doing the work. This is not about you supervising the work. This is not about you directing how it's to be done. This is just about you being involved with the people who actually do this work and really understanding it. They have some new process that they're going through. Go understand, ask some questions, understand that process. So that way, every time you guys are at a meeting, there is someone at this table who has like that more in-depth understanding of that aspect of town work. I think this will really like bump up select board work a level instead of everyone trying to keep track of all the things, but never really the whole thing of anything. So I made this list and I'm hoping you guys kind of had a sense, and I was hoping we could just go through it. I'll say what it is and you call it. I'm going to put your name next to it. And we're going to use this when we do our work plan with the VLCT person as well, because we're going to create an organizational chart so that we will identify which select board member kind of takes that primary place in each of these subjects. If you guys are game, we started talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I'm hoping we can just make short shift of it.
I think that's a great idea and I think we should go through this. And I think some of them are going to be pretty easy.
Yes.
For people to jump into. Some of them may not be so easy. So we may not complete it.
Well, let's go through and then we
Let's
can
see
put
what-
some to the side
That's
and
right.
talk about them later. And then Bob
That's right.
can get the dregs because he's not here.
Well, that was mine.
Then I nominate Bob to take.
I also have a good, I know Bob pretty well. I have a good sense of things that I think he would be good at, by the way. So
I was going to say that. So
for instance, I do think Bob would be good at RFPs, top of the list.
I agree.
So I'm going to put Bob there.
Get back here.
Grant applications and grant closeouts. I think you'd be good at that, Angie. Is this my job? Am I going to assign it?
If looks could swear.
Well, yes, I think Angie'd be there, but so before we even go any
Yeah.
further, if somebody doesn't want something that we suggest, or if we have something that's, nobody jumps into, okay, so we down through and.
Yeah, we'll figure it out
move
later.
Down to the list. But I also think that, listen, let's jump in here because this is a project that Rebecca and I talked about, and then she took the bull by the horns and went through this. This is something before the election I had brought up. This is something I think would streamline the select board, not just because I'm the board chair. I would have brought this up if I was just sitting over there as not the board chair or even vice chair. I just think that on a everyday, every meeting basis, if we're talking about a grant, Angie can talk about the grants. If we're talking about daily office management, whoever has that can talk about that. Because that's what you, as a select board member, that's your kind of.
It gives
Where
some
you've been-
staff and officials an opportunity to, if they need support or an extra phone call somewhere, or, it gives a point person for these things as well. So Angie, can I give you grants? You don't have to, but
I was gonna volunteer.
So the next one was-
Management, but that's okay.
Well, you can do that
Yeah,
too.
Angie, you want that too?
No, I think that's good.
Dale-
Well, there's a bunch of them here and there's only
Yeah.
5 of us, guys.
Yeah,
so-
right, everyone needs to take 5, call it, and Bob, because he's always busy, gets 4. So we can give him the worst 4,
I'll take Parks and Rec and Planning Commission.
because you're there already,
Yeah.
right? Perfect. Brian and Brian.
Bob.
Yeah, and I like you for daily office management because you get off of work at that time. You're able to stop in and see how everyone's doing. Highway,
I think that should be Mike.
I'd like to, I've been working with Joel and Darcy,
great, let's put you there.
but I also think that on the highway and the wastewater, that we should have a second choice. Because if there's a problem
Jamie?
and I think Jamie would be good because he's worked with them in the past
Okay.
pretty extensively. If they can't get a hold of me and they need something.
Yep.
For whatever, so.
Yep. Well, they're still gonna be using like Megan and Tara as their point persons for all the work. This is just for you guys to take the time to know what they're
Right, but
doing.
if there's kind of an emergency and they gotta have a select board member and whatever to do something, I think those two are fairly critical to have.
Yep.
Two people,
So you're gonna do the wastewater too?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because
Jamie?
I've been working with, yeah, I've been.
Then are we authorizing these individuals to make emergency decision-making?
Well,
No, this is not emergency. This is just knowledge.
No.
This is just knowledge because
All right,
honestly,
well, I started to misunderstand the way.
I know what
Yeah.
you're saying.
I would just say too, is that we've really like,
Yeah.
that like things have calmed down quite a bit. So there's not as much emergency decision making needed lately.
Right.
Okay, so, right, it's okay, Brian. I know you're still
Not a-
traumatized.
Actually, I found
Not
it.
a-
Okay, so website, social media. Bob,
Yeah, I think Bob will be
Bob?
good there.
because he can do that remotely. DRB,
Yeah, I'll take DRB
yep.
because there's a zoning I'm already going.
Well, I think someone else should have zoning as well, because just so, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, I, as the zoning administrator, I go to the DRB anyway.
I think Bob should have policies.
I agree.
Ordinances. I mean, that could be Bob too, could be policies and ordinances, because we really don't have very many ordinances. Like, that's very rare.
So that's Bob's four.
I would say that's Bob's for. Okay. Or no.
No, I can work with Bob on that
Okay.
if you wanted to as
Put Mike for
well.
ordinances.
I'm not,
Bob and Mike or just Mike?
no, I like to leave Bob there. I think Bob's pretty good.
I can-
Bob and I bounce off each other.
He's
when-
very good with ordinances and policies.
And when we,
Yeah.
and when Bob's working on an ordinance or I'm working on an ordinance, we bounce
Mm-hmm.
off each other really well.
Yep, that's absolutely true. Angie, I like you on the next one, honestly. Connection with the town clerk's office.
I was just gonna volunteer.
Okay. Town hall maintenance, Jamie?
Yep.
See, look at that. Easy peasy. IT,
That's not me.
Brian?
Sure.
I mean, or Bob. Bob has a lot of IT
Well,
understanding.
I was gonna say, let's just give that to Bob because Bob, I think Bob understands that
Yep.
better than
All right.
the rest of us for sure.
Health officer.
I can do that one.
Okay.
I work with Fred, so I talk about it every day with him anyway.
Oh, perfect. I think someone, even though we have our zoning officer, someone should also know what's going on with zoning, which just means, when the applications come in and, yeah, Jamie? Okay. Animal control.
I guess I can tackle that one too.
You want that one? Okay,
Either or, I mean,
okay.
Well,
Now,
why don't
listen,
we-
anyone
Why don't we
can-
put Jamie on there if he wants to be in there too? I don't want to.
Yep, Brian and Jamie, great.
Perfect.
I've gone out with him.
No, right.
So glad he didn't.
The lister department and we're gonna have, the new assessing and listing, system. So who would like to take that?
I'm a JP, so I'll
Perfect.
take and try to dabble and do what I can do.
Need two people.
We need someone to liaison with the Pownal Historical Society once they get into the building.
I can try to do that.
Okay,
I'll do the transfer station.
okay, Jamie. Press.
Time before.
I'm giving you press.
It's only natural the chair take on the press.
Yeah. Trainings, Angie? I think you'd be good at that. Angie's good at all the community, the office people. And then, guys, all of you should be on this, but town report. One of you should say, okay, I'm gonna take town report, I'm gonna follow the calendar, help make sure they've got it set up, all of that. And know it now. But all of you should do it. And I mean, I'm gonna recommend a really meticulous process when we get to that. Well, when you guys get to that, but I think one of you should just be thinking about it.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Angie,
English was not my,
I'm putting, because that's office staff too, so I think it goes with that, right?
Okay.
All right, you guys,
I think I have one to buy.
Yeah, but I wanna jump in there with you,
okay, Mike.
okay? I don't wanna, because the
Well,
town
you should,
report,
like-
yeah.
the town report has been such a contentious thing,
Yes.
excuse me, for the last couple of years.
Yeah,
I'm jumping in there with you.
Okay.
We will do that together.
All right,
That
thank
won't be
you.
one or the other.
yeah, and you're not
Because
doing.
we're not doing
I
it.
know that, but I know, no, I understand that.
You're just
We will,
checking it
we
a
will,
lot.
we will.
Make sure it happens.
Coordinate that
Coordinate.
together, okay?
Yes.
Because I seriously think that's more than a one-person job, and I think, I wanna make it, I wanna
Bob's
make it.
got 4.
Bob's got 4, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to amend this document so it has your names next to it. And we will use that as part of our organizational chart, and also we will put it on the website.
Okay.
So that, all right, am I for the next one? And that's it. Thank you. You guys did that very well.
Town hall.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm town hall, yes, that's me too.
Yep, town hall's up.
So, I received an email from from the VLCT, I mean, it was sent to everyone. It wasn't addressed to me personally. But there has been a movement in Vermont where these are citizens, these are private citizens, activists, going into public spaces like town halls and post offices, doing what they're calling a First Amendment audit. And what they're doing is they're testing to make sure that they're allowed to do things like film in public spaces. And they are allowed to film in public spaces. But people get offended by that often and they say, stop filming me, you know. And so they're talking about how really towns really need to delineate the places in their town hall that are private versus public. I believe that you should be getting some private signs, like private do not enter, not for public entry or however you want to say it, to put on office doors. Because in offices behind doors, there are confidential records. People are working on a computer screen that has confidential information on them. So also, that's just for safety as well, to not have the public coming in. We're used to that one room town hall. The public can't be coming in and just opening up our office doors and coming in, and we've already seen a bit of that happening. That's separate from the town, these First Amendment audits. If someone does come here and they want to film in the public space, you politely let them film.
can we post a sign stating that, no entry to office without invite? Would that cover that rather than having it?
Well, I don't think you want to have an appointment only town hall. That's not good for civic business, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's, if you are coming in and you make, I'm not just gonna walk into your door, into your office. I'm gonna knock on the door and.
No, but they should be able to walk in the front door of the town hall without an invite. I mean, we're talking the offices.
I'm not talking about the town hall. I'm talking about if you put it.
On the office
down here,
doors?
It'd be on the wall saying,
Private, not for public entry. You don't need to say,
Right.
need an invitation. It's not like a vampire law,
I'm just,
right, I would say private, not for public entry. And then obviously if someone wants to invite someone into their office, they're welcome to invite someone. It's, hey, come here, sit down. But I think that you need to decide, where does the public end? Because it's, and I think that it should end at that little entry area right there. And then obviously when there's a meeting, this opens up, the public can come in here. And then, but meetings are eventually going to be in the schoolhouse, which is even better. Then all of this will be private space. So I would say, no, you could even put a little sign, maybe on a pedestal right there, no public beyond this point. That might solve that altogether. But you want to do that. And another interesting note that was in the Second Amendment audit email was a reminder that FOIA's public record requests, they do not need to identify themselves. If you get a public record request, you send the records. So it's about public access and citizen access, and we want them to have that access. If somebody comes in here filming, we let them film, we're polite, we smile, but the advice is to clearly delineate where the public is allowed and where they're not allowed. So maybe a standing sign that says no public beyond that point, that would solve all of those issues.
Right.
So that's town hall of signage for private spaces.
Okay.
So if you want to make a decision on that, beyond that, I have nothing else for town hall. That was it.
I think Matt Hanger's got open town hall.
Yep, I have that listed.
Okay, so I'm all done
Well,
now.
I wanted to, do we want to discuss, do we want to discuss that signage tonight? Or
I don't think it would be a bad idea.
No.
yeah,
Well, I know Becca didn't mention it, but further in that email, she had mentioned about doors in offices with windows, about maybe putting coverings up so that you can't film if somebody has confidential paperwork on their desk, being able to see it through a window.
Well, no, I think, because I would feel very bad for Tara in that situation. She will be in a dungeon. But what I would say is that if you don't allow people beyond that spot, you're not hitting any of the offices. I mean, the town clerk's office is always open. That's a town clerk.
Right.
That's a different situation than the rest of us working on legal.
Right.
I can't have people looking at what I'm doing if I'm here working. So, I don't think a window covering, but I do think that right there before Ellen's door, the little stand-up sign, no public beyond this point, is probably what I'm thinking. And maybe a small private sign on each of the doors in case someone walks right past the other thing.
Right.
And the lister's office will need one.
I make a motion that we, get small private signs to put on all of the offices and one sign in the foyer, not to go past that point. And I think we can ask Joel to order it, can't we?
I think we can get those on.
These are street signs. I think that probably there's something we can get on.
I'm sure we can get them someplace without a lot of trouble. Tara and Megan
Like
can
an
find
office,
it.
like,
Yeah, she probably get something right at Staples.
right, that's
Office.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a motion on the floor.
Second it.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Town hall. Again, obviously we're here. First select board meeting in here. This will not be the permanent location once we get the schoolhouse moved in there, but, right now it's working pretty good. Really good. We're looking for some map hangers for Julie's maps. To make things a little more streamlined, easier for people coming in or anybody that's working with the maps. Right now, they're kind of a mess. That's kind of Julie's idea. I was looking for the numbers in here. Megan and I didn't see them in our packet that Julie gave us. Do you remember the cost?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I
In
have it and I can't find it.
I probably have it on my email.
I have it, I have it in, I printed out the packet at home, except for that
There we go.
EHP 700 sheets. I didn't print that one.
You want to take a look at it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect, thank you. I knew I had it. And it's probably in here somewhere. I thought so. I just can't find it right now. It's irritating me, okay?
There it is.
Yeah, there you go. See? That's what I've been searching for. So this was, or is an estimate quote from Easy File. This is what Julian, I think Megan worked with her. I'm not sure. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Julie this is what she's looking for. As you see, the whole list there, it's $3,719.08.
Rebecca, didn't we get some kind of grant or something for that a while back, or we?
For what?
Map hanging?
No, not map hanging.
No, it was for digitalization.
digitizing
Okay.
the maps.
All right, I didn't know if that was part of that.
Now, I believe these are for like a Mylar map that Julie has when somebody does a subdivision and all that kind of stuff, which there is a significant number of those here.
Yes.
Okay, I believe that's what they're for.
The big,
So it's $3,719.08.
I make a motion that we purchase it for her.
second it.
No, it's for the town.
Well, it's for the town, but for Julie,
That's right. No, it's fine.
have an easy.
She's not gonna take them if she leaves.
No, she's not.
Did I get a second?
Yes.
Any more discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so carried. I think that's it, all I have on the town hall.
There's also the electrical quotes, one for the generator and one for the light posts on the south side of the building.
Oh, yeah, and the alarm system.
So, do we have any kind of solar? Or are they all electrical lights? We have no solar lights for the parking lot or anything?
No. I think we discussed it, but it was gonna be more upfront cost, so we shied away from that. But we kind of left the door open that if that's something we could add on later on.
So the alarm system for the building from Alarms Unlimited, that's what we have now, correct, Jamie? His quote is labor and materials is $1,100 with an annual monitoring fee of $288. The system is expandable to add the old schoolhouse and the historical society. It's 2 touch pads, 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs. 3 motion detectors on the main floor.
One downstairs in the basement, correct?
Yep.
Plus the doors.
Plus the doors.
Doors, yep. What's your pleasure?
Motion that we accept the bid.
You hear a second?
Second,
Any discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
So the generator,
I see that include the groundwork, but it was everything else.
well, I'm gonna hold off on the generator. I have an appointment tomorrow morning to, go look at a generator, actually. Joel and I have an appointment tomorrow at 9. So I wanna hold off on the generator until, the 7th. And the generator that we're looking at is, I can have it tomorrow if we wanted, so it's, it won't hurt us on that 30-day stuff, really. So I'd like to hold off on the generator for tonight, and with the outside lights, we can move on that if you guys so choose. Everybody has the quote. Quote to perform the electrical work at the above address, install 3 pole lights for parking lot, run the conduit, pull the wire, make the connections, includes all materials and labor for a complete job. Pole lights include 350-watt LED heads, 15-foot pole anchor kit, base cover kit, and cap. Does not include the excavating or backfill, and does not include the concrete base for the poles. It's $8,500. It's from Kelson Electric, who has done all of our electric in the building now. What's your pleasure?
If we go with it, we need to coordinate somebody to do the concrete base and excavating them.
Right. That's,
And that should be done.
he didn't recommend anybody that he's worked with to offer a quote on that part.
To be perfectly honest with Jamie, I have not talked to Stan about this at all.
I was
This is
just
the quote that Eric got from me, so I don't know. I would imagine that anybody can do the excavation, to be honest with you. I'm sure there's a spec on the concrete base.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be X number of feet deep, whatever it is, it sounds like he's providing all the conduit.
Yep.
But it sounds like would have to do the excavation. Now, this should be done obviously before the blacktop goes in.
Exactly.
I also think that we should do this before the landscaping, gets started. Which we'll bring up next month. We'll bring that up first meeting in April. I didn't want to go too crazy here tonight. I knew we had a lot of other stuff on here.
Right.
So,
Motion to accept his bid,
okay.
unless we didn't reach out for anybody else. I mean, I know Sam's been doing everything else for us on site so far, so.
I would bet we'd have a hard time beating his price from what I've seen.
Second,
Any more discussion, questions? All those in favor of Kelson Electric doing the 3 lights outside?
aye.
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 So carried. Generator we'll put on April 7th, please.
Okay.
Okay? All right, let me see where we're at here.
One last thing for town hall is, getting a post for mailbox out front.
That's right.
Do we need, what, you want a official mailbox?
So,
Or do you want as far as for the post office?
no.
Okay, that's what I was,
So-
you have to take and go fill out a whole thing for that.
Well, so here's what's going on now. Right now, we have a post office box,
Okay,
okay? We can have the mail picked up and delivered right here at the town office with a lockable post office box.
so we get one that's on a pedestal with a key and,
It's just like what we have over at the old
Yep.
building. Too bad we couldn't move it.
So, we can get that, and we have a proposal, right, you have numbers for that?
Yes.
So the first thing that we have to do is we have to decide to do away with our post office box, which personally, they deliver the mail and they pick up the mail for
Right.
free. Now, it's not free.
right,
So
$100 a year.
whatever it is,
Right.
whatever it is, if it's $5 a month, I don't care, it
It
doesn't
saves the
matter.
town money
Saves the
overall.
town money,
Not
and they-
paying
and the-
somebody to travel across town to go do it.
And the post office picks up and delivers right here. And I don't think it's gonna matter one bit as far as mail delivery goes, whether we get it down there or get it here. The mail's the mail right now, and we all know that. So first, I'd like to entertain a motion that we do away with our post office box when our contract is up. Change our mailing address to
911.
511 Center Street. And,
Fill out the forwarding information with the post office, because it's gonna be a while for us to make sure all our points of contact are updated with
that's
everything.
right, that's right.
And letterhead also.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, all that's gonna have to get changed.
So I'd like to do away with the post office box.
Right.
I make a motion that we do away with the post office box when our contract is up.
I don't know if it's a monthly contract or yearly, I don't.
It's annual.
It is.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
find that file. It's still in the box somewhere, though. I'll find it eventually.
Okay,
Okay.
Second.
any more discussion? All those in favor?
I,
Which brings us to our the outside post office box. So there was a couple of different, you go ahead, you know what, you have that.
Yeah, so I emailed 3 links to ones through Home Depot, since we have a commercial account with them. It seemed to be the most cost efficient. One is directly on the building, but the other 2 were on a post. And there was 2 different sizes, a medium and a large one.
If we had it directly on the building, the person would have to get out of their vehicle, which would probably not be a good thing.
Will not like that.
That's exactly right. So you have to have one on the pole.
No, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with having one on a pole.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it'd be safer to have it on the building, but not for the post person. So,
What was the cost difference?
The cost difference between the ones on the posts were around $20 difference. It wasn't by much.
It's not plastic.
Larger.
It's an aluminum.
And
Yep.
and they lock.
And they lock. It
what
has.
was the cost? It has to lock.
Yeah.
I could pull it up for sure. One, I believe, was 98. The other one was 78.
Right, that's what I just,
Did that include the pole?
No.
So you have to buy the pole separately.
Hole and yeah, dig the hole and all that.
With the post office separate lock that they come and install.
Yeah, it's all the lock.
Yeah,
Yep, the lock
so
and
we're really talking under $500 here, I think, for the
Right.
whole entire project, so.
want to make sure we got the right animal, that's all.
Right.
But I make the motion that we purchase the box and pole. Then we'll have to,
who should we ask to
well,
do that?
To do the process.
Yeah, for the,
that's one motion. I got a second one.
All right, did you make the motion?
Yes, to purchase the pedestal type postal box.
I'll second.
Any more discussion or questions? All those in favor?
And second motion is to do a proposal.
An RFP.
Yes, thank you. An RFP for the excavating to include the postal box as well as the lighting and generator work.
Combine it all in one.
I just think it'd be a.
No,
It's all excavating and concrete work. So
good idea.
Yep,
good idea.
Yep, good idea.
Are there any other projects that we can think of that are gonna require that kind of work?
Yes.
We can all lump
I'm
in?
glad you brought that up, Brian, because Joel and I were out here the other day talking about some different things. We were talking about some blacktop work and a lot of things. So on the upper road by the carriage barn, he's going to put that in to have it blacktopped. So when we were here talking the other day, I would really like to put a set of landscape steps
yep,
down that bank. Because if we are voting or doing something here and we use that upper lot or upper area completely, totally for some parking, instead of coming all the way around the road or down that bank where somebody's gonna slip and fall, we have a set of stairs.
gonna have a railing too then.
We'll have to go through the whole thing. That's right, Jamie. You have to have a railing. But Joel and I were talking about it. I'd like to have a set of steps that come down, you know, kind of off the front of the building, off that front door, right down off that upper carriage barn area. So I would think we could incorporate that all in the same RFP.
Yeah,
And that needs to be done before the landscaping.
And we could do something like what they have at the Legion, where it's made out of railroad ties, even.
We could
Whatever.
do whatever. If somebody wanted to come in here and give us a really good price on the concrete set of steps or railroad ties or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we'd have to draw up that RFP.
blacktop's going up big time this year, I heard, per ton, so.
It went up some, but it's not crazy. He's working on that bid right now. So, yeah. That's just the thought that we had the other day was putting a set of steps in there. Perfect. So we'll set that up. I'll work on you with that.
Okay.
Work with you on that there. That's better. My English wasn't very good a couple minutes ago. Sorry.
What you meant?
Yeah. All right.
Did, Sam include a site plan for linear?
No,
Okay,
that's
so that's
the
what,
only thing that I got for the
I
quote.
want to reach out to him as far as that. Because that's gonna take and be part, will need to be included in the RFP. The linear ditching and, number of posts for the, concrete and the whole 9 yards.
Nice. All right. Do you have anything else for town hall? Tara, you have anything? You guys have been in here for a week now. Kind of. We're gaining it still. You guys are still working on stuff, but we're gaining.
Absolutely. I mean, I see all the piles on your floor there when come in, cause you said you finally got to unpack some stuff.
All right.
That feels good. Get there.
Yeah,
So these are some things that we've been coming up with in the last couple of weeks. Just kind of brainstorming back and forth for some RFPs. Joel, once again, we were here the other day talking about some things. So the first one, if we want to talk about it, is, for a building and grounds maintenance person.
So we included a draft of the RFP, but there's also one of a job posting.
Right.
You wanted to go that route?
Right. So let's talk about them a little bit. I don't want to spend a bunch of time on these tonight because we're not in a bind and we do have a bunch of other stuff on there. Once again, I'm not a table person, but one of the things that Joel and I talked about, the other day, and then we kind of brought it up and moved it forward, obviously. That's our age. Just kick me. Because there is a tremendously larger area to plow now, because we have 2 parking lots. Okay, and we have to have, our town offices open, you know, when the road crew's out plowing roads. Okay, that's kind of where this started. When we were talking the other day. So obviously we would provide the vehicle to a building and grounds person to plow. The town can come in and sand or salt or whatever they're gonna do with, we don't need a separate vehicle for that. The town crew can do that. The trash removal, because now we're having trash removal in here. Trash removal, and we were gonna put the trash removal out to bid anyway for the Center Street Park. We have the ball field, we have Strobridge Park, we have, several locations now.
Well, currently at the ball field, Pownal Youth Baseball covers trash removal during the open season.
Right. So that's fine, but what do we do the rest of the year when?
Has not been a problem.
I know.
But I get what you're saying.
There are several.
Yeah.
There are several places that we've talked about, the Strobridge Park, unfortunately, is one of those places that never gets emptied until it's really nasty or whatever.
Yeah, till it's strung all over.
Yeah,
I've bought the guys lunch numerous times.
you're right. No, I know. And so, which there, so we could do some, minor repairs to the town buildings. If we had a building and grounds person, like an on-call handyman type of thing. Landscaping, these are just some bullet points. The other thing that Joel brought up was, we do have part-time help come in and plow in the winter. This person could plow here and then jump onto a road somewhere where Joel would need help in the summertime. If you needed help cleaning up, sanders, repainting sanders, we could keep a person pretty busy.
So is the thought then making this an extended position of the road crew then?
I don't know,
Yeah.
this is the first we've talked about it. This is
Right.
the first food for thought, really, Ryan. So we could make it kind of just a building and grounds person that takes care of just a couple of town properties. We could make it an extension of the road crew that was in here, this.
I'm almost thinking it would fit better as part of the road crew with extended building and, like you said, repainting of vehicles and equipment.
Yeah, it's just, there was a conversation that Joel and I had the other day, and it's a conversation that spurred this RFP. I think this RFP right here, to me, I hate tabling, but I'd like to think about that one for a couple of weeks. I'd like to bring that back. I'd like to bring that one back on April 7th, just because.
And we want to get something, if we're thinking about incorporating it under Joel's umbrella, we should get some more input from him.
No, exactly. I think it's time to start this. I think there's enough things, even if you kept it on a part-time basis and they weren't part of the road crew, I'm sure there's plenty of retired individuals in this town that could use.
Well, I'm just thinking if you're thinking getting the person out on the road and plowing with the road crew, I think we would be hard pressed to get somebody in here with a CDL then to drive plow truck.
No.
That price.
Right.
That's where my mind was going.
What we do now is we do hire, certain people, townspeople to drive pickups when Joel needs extra manpower.
Okay.
He doesn't hire a CDL qualified driver right now. He hires a person, puts them in.
That can drive the little white truck.
That can,
Right.
exactly.
And just to keep the road open while the other guys get their downtime that have the CDLs and then.
Right.
Okay.
And there was,
They got
these are all
feedback
food for
or
thought
whatever.
things.
Yeah.
Nothing we have to act on tonight. This is, and I don't want to act on this tonight. I want to bring this back on the 7th. I want to think about it a little bit myself, but I just wanted to bring it out. The next one,
But it is something we started discussing a couple meetings
What do you
ago.
want us to do with the trash in the meantime?
let me reach out to Joel and see if I can have one of the guys just grab it. Cause you're getting it built up, right?
Well, Eric has been nice enough to take it for us in his trailer, but he's taking that tonight or tomorrow, so.
Okay.
That option anymore.
Okay.
Roger did say that he would take care of it, but we also do have a lot I know that the can out there is already filled up and we have plenty in here to,
How much trash do you anticipate being generated per week, 2 weeks, whatever?
During
it's
regular,
hard to, yeah, it's hard to tell since
It's
we
gonna be
have
hard to
so
tell.
many packing materials and everything around.
Yeah, well, I mean, I anticipate the whole unpacking thing is gonna generate more, but what would you normally generate at the other building?
I quizzed Julie on this. She said probably 1 to 2 bags
a week,
a week
A
for the
week.
for the whole office. Yep.
okay.
Well, I'm almost wondering, would it just be easier just to pave Casella to empty like a 96 gallon container every couple of weeks?
They charge quite a bit.
Yeah, like Tom was saying, they just increased the
Or
rates. a
all
lot.
American, or put it out for bid?
Well, we could do, and then we had talked
Like,
about
I
that.
pay like 40, I pay like $40 a month for every other week for 96 gallon with a recycling bin.
Yeah. And that's something we can look into. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I think there's some,
I mean, if Joel can have one of his guys come and run it up to the transfer station with Tom, that's fine.
or I think even Tom, until we got this position or something finalized, Tom would probably pick it up for us too on his way by if it's bagged up.
If you have.
Oh, I see. Next RFP is IT services. I just think I think we would be doing due diligence to the town and the taxpayers if we get an idea on, and a proposal for IT services to the whole, for the application that we have. And I think it's a pretty good,
Oh, this is what we had discussed at the last meeting up on the hill about getting rid of desktops eventually and getting laptops and more mobile stations.
Right.
And updating our equipment.
yeah, I think this is just something that we should do just for due diligence, maybe.
Doesn't hurt to throw a feeler out
Doesn't
there.
hurt to throw a feeler out. We're not under a contract now.
Right.
Okay, so, I just think it's time to reach out and see what we can do. I don't think we need to vote on these, do we?
No, I think,
Everybody comfortable with sending out an IT RFP?
yes.
Yeah.
We need one for cleaning this building.
Just double check with Bob with that if you would, please. Just have him, in case we overlook something that we might be looking for.
Oh, the
In
IT?
the IT one?
In the IT thing.
Yeah, I sent
didn't-
this
I
to
don't-
everyone.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I figured he might just, that's his forte.
Send them a little email and say, do you think there's anything to add to the IT before I send it out for our?
Yeah, because we
Okay, I'll ask him
assigned the IT.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we assigned him the IT, so perfect, there's your first job.
There you go.
Pick his brain, that's all.
And then the next one is the, RFP for, professional cleaning services in the new building here. And I know, Tara, that was a great bullet point you had about the door handles. That was great, for sure.
No,
I'm not sure that's probably not on a lot of RFPs, but that was a great point. Anybody have any questions about that one?
Nope,
no.
So are we good sending that out?
absolutely.
Do we want to change the date on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say the dates on there were just thrown out there. I think one of them doesn't even have a date.
The cleaning one has the 8th, and we meet on the 7th, right?
Yep.
So we wouldn't be able to act on that for a month.
Well, for 2 weeks, yeah.
So let's
Afterwards.
change that to April 6th. Let's change the IT to April 6th. And the buildings and grounds doesn't matter because we're not gonna act on that one tonight anyways. And honestly, I'll entertain a motion to send out RFPs for cleaning services and IT service for the town. With the RFPs due by April 6th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
I just want to make sure we cover our bases. We cover our bases. Which slide us into executive? Does anybody else have anything on RFPs?
No.
I don't believe so.
Slide us into executive session.
I'll make a motion to
Personnel.
enter executive session for personnel.
This is,
Second.
it could put the town at a disadvantage, if we were to do this in open session. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Should we, are we taking, first of all, are we taking action?
Good point, Angie. We will be taking action after executive session. Good point. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're ready when you are, Megan, to go into executive.
Motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Jinx.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to pay any eligible employee or official excluding board or commission members 75 cents per hour from the months of March 2020 through February 2022 for pandemic hazard pay to be paid from the ARPA funds contingent on the second half payout of the ARPA funds.
Should I say per hour worked?
Oh, I thought that's what I said. Yeah, that's, per hour worked during that time frame.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public comment.
We're just moving.
Couple people out there.
Public comment then.
What's that?
The correspondence stuff, just moving that to the next week.
Oh, yeah.
We can do
I was gonna
correspondence.
make a public comment because we missed the correspondence. Wanted to announce that Parks and Rec received $1,500 from the Stewart Holiday Matching Grant. The intent of it, although there is a lot of freedom in how you spend that money with Stewart's, what we asked for was for refinishing the,
Tennis court.
thank you, for the skaters and all of that, for refinishing it somehow, sealing it and making it smoother, so. And there were a couple other things in there as well, I forget what off the top of my head, but we got some money.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Is that all you have for correspondence?
that was it.
What about your announcement for Monday?
No, waiting.
And, this is, from the highway department. Short note about what's going on. 2 proposals from engineers for the Mount Anthony Culvert project. East Engineering is by far going to be the cheapest. They've used them for all the projects in the past. That being said, if we would sign this proposal, we can move on with the project. He'll have Tara put the full proposal in our packet, which is here. And this didn't, and I should have had this on, but we didn't, so we'll do it under public comment. He's gonna put the gravel crushing out to bid. If you agree with the blacktop plan, he'll do the same with that. He'll send these things so we can look them over ahead of time. Sincerely, Joel.
Make a motion to give them our blessing to proceed forward on both of them.
For East Engineering,
Yep.
second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'll sign that. Now we'll open it to public comment.
Mindy Jo?
Hello, this is Mindy Jo. 2 things that I'm just confused on that hopefully you can answer. What exactly is the dog census for? And why would we make any part of a taxpayer's building private? Wouldn't it be better to say if you wanted to see the building and all whatever is make arrangements to do so? Putting private signs on a building taxpayers pay for sounds odd to me. So if you could just clarify why, it'd be great.
I'm rolling over to answer that for you, Mindy Jo. So the town hall is open and it's public, but just, it's we lock the doors at night when we leave. That being a public building doesn't mean that anyone can just come in whenever they want and go wherever they want and touch whatever they want. So we have parts when we're open, we have parts of the building that are going to be, people can walk in during the day, there'll be a reception area, there's going to be, but we do have offices where confidential things happen, people's paychecks are being run, there's secure documents, there's HR documents. So even though this is yes, the taxpayer dollars have paid for this, there is business that we do that is still confidential and private and,
I understand that part, Miss Rebecca, what I was saying, and I understand you don't want people just running in and out of there, and yeah, I wouldn't want that either. I'm just saying, somebody like me that hasn't been in that building at all, why wouldn't I be able to make arrangements to come in and scope out the whole thing? Scope out the whole thing. So I can see exactly what's up and then make my way out. I'm not saying just come in and wander. No, that would be unruly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. So absolutely, Mindy.
Just like somebody like me, I haven't seen it, didn't see the plans, wasn't involved in anything when this all began. And I wanted to come in and say, okay, so how do I get to, say, the tax office? Now, am I able to go and talk to Ellen at her office? Can I request that? Or is that just gonna be like taboo off limits? I guess maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Remember, I don't word things right.
No, you're good, Mindy. Listen, I understand what you're asking. Number one, come here when I'm here. I'd love to show you the whole office. And absolutely, anyone can make an arrangement and get a tour of the whole place.
That's all I was curious about.
Of course you can.
Dog thing.
Of course you can.
Somebody like me, sometimes I'll have 4 dogs, sometimes I'll have 2 dogs, sometimes I'll have 6 dogs because I am a rescuer. Okay, and sometimes people are in a jam and they have no place to put their animal, and Second Chance has a waiting list that would scare you. In fact, right now they're only taking kittens. So something like that, I don't understand. How would I answer a dog census?
I think it's for the dogs that you own personally.
Yeah, I don't think it's if you're fostering a dog.
Not at all.
Okay, so I guess that leads me to what business is it of anybody's and what dog I own? I don't understand.
State requirement. It's a state statute. It's in the state statutes that a dog census is done.
Just like the licensing, because part of the licensing deal is to make sure that you've got all your vaccinations done for your.
Yeah, that's a whole new situation all its own, but I thank you for your time this evening.
Well, that's all.
Thanks, Mindy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Be safe. God bless.
God bless.
Too.
And we do plan on having an open house at some point.
Let's have an open house.
I would love to have an ice cream social.
And I think that we're gonna do that once.
Stuart.
Yeah.
Hot Foot Sundays? Yes, I'm in.
A Sunday bar, but when we have
Yes.
a schoolhouse, because then
Yes.
we'll do tours.
Yes.
You'll do tours.
Anyone else, Megan?
There's no one else raising their hand.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Don't move.
Finally.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
All right.